Behind every good RPG is a web of systems meant to keep players moving forward, and today we'll take a look at just how deep those systems go. Hello friends, it's Kodiak here and welcome to Legacy Gaming. This is part 5, the final video in our Road to Launch series for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a multi-layered game, and more so than ever, the Ubisoft team is finding new ways to give players the tools to play the game the way they want. A lot builds off the successes of Odyssey, but with a new game comes new opportunity, and that's exactly what we're going to discuss today. During our discussion about combat, we mentioned abilities, and that's where I want to start. Abilities are major combat maneuvers that give Eivor an edge when fighting. These break down into two categories, melee and ranged, and act independent of one another. Like in previous Assassin's Creed games, you can create a loadout of 4 abilities on either side that suit your playstyle. Ranged abilities empower your bow and even enhance your raven, while melee abilities tie right into your straight-up fighting. Collecting books of knowledge unlock abilities, and collecting multiple books for the same ability increases its effectiveness. There's no denying it, these abilities will define our core combat experience in Valhalla, and with a little exploration and customization, players will be able to string combinations of skills together to create a truly unique kit. On the other side of that coin are skills, passive upgrades that increase a player's effectiveness more broadly. This is where we see a big deviation from Odyssey. While skills are still broken down into 3 categories, they're much more expansive, with major nodes providing bigger upgrades and lesser nodes slightly improving effectiveness. Skill points are gained through a myriad of ways. Pretty much everything we've talked about in this series up until this point has a chance to grant Eivor a new point. Mysteries, world events, even side quests and activities can reward players with a skill point, and that's a good thing because the skill system in Valhalla is much more robust than in previous games. Using a constellation system, players will have to allocate points along set paths. Obviously, major nodes will have a bigger impact on your performance, but it's the lesser nodes called stat nodes that will provide those stopgap buffs to keep the content balanced. If you dive into the hero stat page, you'll actually find that these minor stat increases affect a lot, but ultimately, I don't think most players will pay that much mind. Just like in Odyssey, there are 3 skill trees and each align with a different playstyle. The wolf tree provides benefits and skills that enhance your ranged abilities, the bear tree provides benefits and skills that enhance your melee combat abilities, and finally the raven tree provides benefits and skills that enhance your stealth and assassination abilities. Skills are the foundation of progression in the game, and while we won't be leveling up in the traditional sense, how many points we allocate into skills will determine our power level. This is essentially the barometer for balance in the game and will determine what regions of England you'll be capable of fighting in without getting rolled. Sadly, if you're looking for a Path of Exile style tree with branching progression, you'll have to look somewhere else. While Ubisoft is changing up the system, it's far from complex but does offer some variability for those players looking to create specific builds. Now let's take a break from the in-depth gameplay systems to talk about some of the more cosmetic customizations offered in Valhalla. And while I realize this isn't game-changing stuff, let's just cut to the chase. As you might imagine, you'll be able to change Eivor's look in multiple ways. At the tattoo shop, you'll be able to add ink to your head, chest, arms, and back, as well as change up your beard and hairstyle. We mentioned previously that the floating papers minigame is also coming back to Assassin's Creed, and those rewards have been confirmed to unlock new cosmetic customizations. Your longboat can also be customized. The hull, sails, shields, figureheads, and tail can all be changed, but these are all aesthetic modifications and don't impact the performance in the game. In the same vein, your Joms Viking or Viking Lieutenant can be changed as well. Much like Eivor, you'll deck them out in armor and will even assign them melee and ranged weapons. It's still unclear exactly how much this will impact their performance in the game, but we do know that the Ubisoft team has big plans for the Joms Vikings with upcoming DLC, so I'd keep an eye on this and look for any ways to improve your right-hand Vikings if presented the opportunity. Finally, our trusty steed and raven companion also have some customization options, and this does go beyond simple cosmetic changes. While you can change the look of both your horse and raven, with the introduction of a stamina system back in the game, you'll need a way to upgrade your horse as well. And as you can imagine, this isn't exactly going to be a complex process, but it does exist and it's worth pointing out. So let's dive back in and break down yet another progression system, and this really goes right to the core of Ubisoft's approach to development with this Assassin's Creed game. weapons. We've mentioned that players won't be collecting hundreds of items in Valhalla, and while the developers have thinned the number of items, they needed a way to make up for that difference, and what they've come up with is truly a multi-pronged solution. Weapons are classified into 3 categories, and they're the same 3 categories we talked about when discussing skills. The more points you have in a given skill, the more bonuses you get for a piece of gear of that same type. Gear is meant to last in Valhalla, and something that you find at the beginning of your adventure could serve you long term if you continue to upgrade it using a brand new system. Each piece of gear gets a rating, and instead of a rarity, items break down into quality. Major upgrades will improve a piece of gear's quality, which will expand how many times you can improve the base stats. Upgrading the quality of items also grants new appearances and rune slots, which further increase their effectiveness. The idea behind this system is twofold: get rid of randomly generated gear, and give players the choice to keep items long term. RPG fans fight over this all the time, and there's a reason why transmog systems exist. Find an item you can't live without? Now you don't have to, and you can just continue to upgrade it to stay in line with the content you're currently focused on. This entire system hinges on the blacksmith back at your settlement. The minor upgrades to your items, you'll be doing those yourself, but the blacksmith will provide the major upgrades, which will enhance the quality of your items and their effectiveness. To upgrade an item, you'll need the right ingots. Provide the materials, and your new item will be ready for combat. At this point, we know of 4 major tiers: fine, superior, flawless, and mythical. Customization runs to the very core of the Assassin's Creed experience, and at the end of the day, those systems power nearly everything in the game. We hope you enjoyed our 5th and final road to launch video for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Legacy Gaming plans on covering Assassin's Creed Valhalla top to bottom, so if you like our videos and want more great content in your feed, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, consider joining us on Discord. We have over 6,000 members spread across dozens of great games, so click that link below and join today. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.